Never had such an opportunity. Yeah, for people, basically, we fella for a demand to Pahani, Yuan, Kina, Lee, with Sahara. You only told that he don't work. Is it right?
Yes.
Yes. What I want to say?
Yes.
I didn't see it. The experience here, Isimolotse, Mogerigenka, 1966. Kilimosagaya. Okay. 53. Nagari Mosa, Gari, Iganawakai.
67.
I'm 80 years old. 80 years old. I'm saying kasi buat fela kuhori, kita bicara wana lelona, wana lelona. Ini sebab ini, yang pembicara ini mungkin kasofu, agak tak kasofu. Kalau tak kasofu parlamentin, siapa tu masuk Afrika balik. Local parliamenting this whole people and I think 80% of South Africa haba jalan kuno batu dua felaka kai simun dan suara pada mereka cuma cepat bicara gitu loh koi bar mari kita ibalah ki nama haki ibalah ki le haki feza kita ki fez yang orang ibu agak kau kerobak. Members of the Pretoria ministers and theological students, I have been requested to give a motivational talk to the theological students. It has not been easy because I started my ministry studies in 1963. Stockback Theological School in Teflo, where I studied for 3 years. And I started working as an evangelist in 1966 at Daniel Scale. In our time, we were not called. You were just transferred to a place and they said you go there. You can't say I'm not going there. The school was telling you, you go to Daniel Scale. I didn't go to Daniel Scale. And I went to Daniel Scale. When I arrived in Daniel Scale, there was no house where I can stay, and they housed me in a dilapidated church. And in that church, there was no water, no electricity, no toilet. I stayed there. That was quick. I stayed there for 1 year, and then I was called to Colleen in 1967, and I stayed there until 1974. And whilst I was studying for evangelist, I only had standard 6, and I corresponded junior certificate. In the 7 years that I worked in Colleen, I corresponded matric and obtained it. Every day. Before going to study as an evangelist, I was a farm laborer. I was traveling, I was driving a tractor. In 1988, when I was going to America, my mother was there, and my mother said, from a tractor to an aeroplane. And in 1975, I went to Teflon to study as a minister. Before being admitted, you were supposed to go through the examination commission for interview of your calling. No chance of you had to say, to explain very well, if you cannot answer the questions right, you are not accepted at the school. As I was answering questions, I explained to the commission that the text that God called me with was, with God is everything possible. Since that time, I stood steadfast in the work of the Lord, knowing that I can achieve everything with Him. Now at school, we used to get a ration of meal, beans, and powdered milk. We were staying in a village. I had children. I stayed there. I didn't have money. I was just from the farms and all these things, and all of us were getting a ration. We would also get second-hand clothing. Not this one, how is becoming big. And then how like poco down, how like little, or how like poco down, you were given an empty house, and as for the finisher, you should see for yourself. It was very difficult, but we persevered whilst we were at school. I already had children that I have to support. We were only getting Aram salt. There was something called Aram salt. Other people were sending some few cents and all these things, and then we had to continue in that Aram salt. That's what was happening there. And after studying, I didn't have a convocation, so I went to work at the Botswana government as a secretary in the Department of Home Affairs. And later on, I was called at Lichtenberg Post, and I was a minister in the farms for the farm laborer. Before getting your monthly salary, there was a register that was signed by the farm owners to confirm that you worked for that month. There was no choice, as your congregation was farm laborer. So he was paid by the RSK after giving a report to them, not to the church council. Now I want to talk about the beginning of the United Reformed Church. This was now the most difficult time, as some of us were getting their salaries from the farm owners. This was the beginning of the struggle for the unity by Dr. Alan Busak and the Reverend Dr. Sembuti that brought about the division between the NK Kerk in Africa and the NK Kerk. And the NK Kerk withdrew their subsidy. As a result, there was no income as you had to choose. However, in spite of all these hardships, we continue saying, we didn't say we don't get money. Because in the first place, when we are called as a minister, I don't know about you. There's nowhere where they tell you you get 1,000 rand or 100,000 rand. There's no such thing. If you are a minister in the church, a church is not a factory. It's not a firm. You are called by God and God will provide for you. So you have to continue, you have to persevere. And then in 1980 I was called in Buipatong congregation. When I arrived there, there was no electricity, there was no phone. And then there was only the one church. And since the church is growing, we are now having 4 wards. Poloko, Tsepiso, Puitumelo, and Bopelo. Now at Tsepiso there is a church and a church building. And in 1993, after my wife's memorial, my wife passed on. In the evening we attacked and robbed almost everything. I had nothing with the people, they robbed me with the AK-47s. Morabe knows very well. Then I had nothing. And after the robbing, the people were asking as to why I did not leave Buipatong. Why you don't go back to Lafton? Why you don't go back to Lafton? You see, the people wants to kill you here. I just answered by saying that God is the one who called me and not the people. I've been called by God, I've stayed there, and I'm still there today. I don't know I think I'm going for the next 10 years. And then for the next 10 years, then I'll be 100. I'll still be there. I've been called by God to serve. And in my own ministry, I've never received my salary according to the synodical scale, but that has not deterred me, because I know that God will provide. Jehovah Jireh. God is the provider. I've got everything like any other person. Amen. There's no traveling like Allah. They give me all these things. They give me a little bit, but I pray God and God give me the heart and all what I want. You are a provider. God is a provider. If you have been called by God, then you have to trust the one who has called you. And what makes me to keep standing, I'm a man of prayer and fasting. Yesterday I was at Shabak. There is a place called Shabak somewhere nearby. And that was amazing. I found there was ministers from the AFM church. They've arrived there on the 5th. And they will be there until the 26th. They are fasting. When they say they go for a retreat, you go outside. They are still there. They will be leaving next week on the 26th. So sometimes I join these people, I pray with them, and I'm fasting, I'm asking the Lord to bless me. Besides having a busy church schedule and challenges in life, I buy books every now and then and read. I make sure that I attend social meetings so that I keep abreast with what is happening in the community I'm working. You know, there's other people I don't understand. I had another motto of mine, a friend of mine. When you can say, you give him your Bible and say, man, open for us, he say, my Bible is not here. You ask him why, I say, well, I've marked my Bible. He has only, since he finished school, he has never bought a book. He's not reading. He's got a Bible. He is from URCSA, so he's just continuing reading his own Bible. I mean, if you are leading people, you have to be in front. You are leading people. I have continuously studied and obtained the following diplomas, ABET through URCSA. You have to have this smaller diplomas so that you can go for a work like Paul was doing. That's what you can do. And I have pre and post AIDS counseling with Gateway Group, the time when I was working with Metro Rail. And I have employee assistance program with Gateway program. I studied industrial ministry in Germany. As you are now aware, I've never relaxed and said I've arrived. From junior certificate, I continued studying until I obtained Masters in Theology at New Brunswick in the United States of America. If you are a leader, you have to study. And that's why I'm finished. I have touched in some aspects such as perseverance, having a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, having a vision, giving yourself time and space to grow in my presentation. However, there are other aspects that you have to consider, such as delegation of responsibilities. The biggest mistake with the young ministers is that they have a tendency to overcommit, overwork themselves and work alone. I urge you to delegate the task to the elders to avoid burnout. You have to have a team, but because as a minister, unfortunately, I'm going to say something which is not very nice. I don't do something which is always very soup. The place is also too big. I cannot afford to do baseball soup. Before, I used to have prayers on wards on Tuesday and Thursday. But one thing which I do, I train the elders. Your work as a minister, your work as a minister, like Jesus, you have to train the elders to do the work. I have got five wards. I've got no problem. If I don't want to go there, I just say to Morabe, go and conduct the service. If I feel like I'm tired, I've got guys who can do the work. They have been trained to do the work. And your ministry starts at home. If you have a family before you are a pastor, you are a husband and a father. If you are not leading your family well, there's no way you can be able to lead a congregation. Leadership starts at home and grows there. If you are still single, ministry at home involves preparing yourself spiritually to be a leader. The other thing which is very important is to be spiritually mature. You have to read your Bible. You have to pray. You have to fast. I wake every morning, 3 o'clock, I start praying. They say one time the other people ask another minister, they say, man, we don't see you visiting people, but the congregation is growing. Then he said, I'm praying for my congregation. It's very important to pray for your congregation. The third point, learn the secret of contentment. Don't try to be somebody else. Be yourself and believe in dreaming big dreams. You will never have a dream yourself bigger than God's dream. You will be encouraged to compare numbers, and the other pastors will ask you. People like these things of their numbers. For example, I don't recruit people. I don't go around and recruit people. In those 5 words I'm having, and it's a lot of people there, I don't recruit in there. I just pray, and the people are just coming there. Because I believe in one thing. I don't believe in this thing of numbers. I don't believe in quantity, I believe in quality. Even I can have 7 people pray together and work together, we can make it. And as a minister, you have to seek mentorship. Always seek a mentor and be mentored. If you don't have a mentor, don't wait for someone you respect or admire to offer mentorship. Instead, go and seek them out. Ask, and you shall receive. Knock, and the door will be open. However, what God also says, I like a movie. How do you do man? How do you see, in terms of people, you must be lifelong learning. That's what must happen with you in life. So go to look for somebody who can help, who can lead you. I mean, before you become a minister, you are at school and somebody is teaching you. So you are copying from that person. And you have to copy right into your life. You can never stop copying. Respect goes a long way. Learn to treat people like they also matter. They will treat you like you matter. Leadership is made when you learn to treat everyone with respect. From your junior to your senior minister to your lecturer. Today, Bana have respect. They don't respect. With utmost respect and dignity. That's what our Master and Lord Jesus Christ did. And lastly, it will be very difficult to lead a congregation of Christ to grow in grace and knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. The pastor is not doing this himself. This is the most important characteristic of effective ministers and church leaders. Effective ministers pursue a spiritual discipline. The minister should be a born-again child of God. You cannot be a minister before you raise your hands. How do you do something? Yeah, it's very good. I know. Who give us let's have much of Hawaii? Kiamohala, Jesu, Valeka, Mafura, Kiraki, Manunite, Kiamohala, Jesu, Valeka Morena, Sua, Ibuakamu, Moakakari, Jesu Bimure, Ibumela, Utso Hile, Mobafu, Wapi, Utaka Hudaba. You lead people. How's the Jesus? You cannot lead people to Jesus if you don't know him. Amen. The minister should be filled with the Holy Spirit. If you are a minister, you must know that you are filled with the Holy Spirit. The minister who is not filled with the Holy Spirit will not be able to build the congregation. To build the congregation, you must be filled with the Holy Spirit. Jesus, before temptation, we read in the Bible, he was filled with the Holy Spirit. Stephen, he was filled with the Holy Spirit. Peter was filled with the Holy Spirit. Paul was filled with the Holy Spirit. If you are a pastor, you have to be filled by the Holy Spirit. This is the most important but powerful, but more powerful is the man who follows Jesus, who have accepted Christ as his Lord and Savior, a born-again child of God, who confess with his mouth that Jesus is Lord and Savior. May God bless you.